This whole way of being a traditional wife is totally fine as long as one requirement is met. And it simply is that you chose it.
Yeah.
Since you guys are so curious about my marriage, I'm going to talk about it. These are the controversial rules in my marriage that some people hate, but they work for us. We live traditionally. My husband leads, I follow, and our marriage has never been stronger.
I think it's worth looking up what the traditional wife.
What are you calling it? Trad?
I learned it from Austin. I wouldn't call it trad wife, but we're going to go through this post where she goes through like 10 things that would be considered more traditional,
right,
than modern.
Like unpopular opinion.
I wouldn't say unpopular. I would say
controversial.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're going to take this trad wife idea, because I think it's a little bit leaning that way.
Yeah.
And see how it works for us. Because I'm really big in right now into like bringing things together. Mm-hmm. Like integration is like my favorite word right now. It could be interesting, like what we think of these things right now, our own takes on them, right? So the trad wife movement is a social media-based subculture where women embrace and promote traditional gender roles, often romanticizing the 1950s, with the husband as the primary provider and the wife as a homemaker, prioritizing domestic life, submissiveness, and traditional values like femininity, beauty, and pleasing one's husband. The movement, which gained popularity on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, is often seen as a counterpoint to modern feminism and can incorporate conservative political ideologies. So we are going there.
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's just start it out before people lose their shit and make this ridiculous. The major issue with human beings is that they cannot see two sides of a story. They cannot look. It's like everything is or. Mm-hmm. What if feminism was fantastic, but had unintended consequences? What if this traditional wife values was fantastic, but had obvious limitations? What if?
It doesn't have to be black and white. There's a lot of gray.
Exactly, because there's a lot for me in there. I'm sure that was triggering, right? That was last week. We talked about being triggered. There was a lot of things like, whoop.
Yeah.
Right. Especially having 3 daughters, strong wife. Right.
Totally.
So then there's this, I don't know, we have to platform this woman, but because she's kind of like pushing it in people's face. And when I saw this, not pushing, she's challenging people with this. Right. And I was like, man, I know at the base of this, where she's probably coming from, I may not agree with all of her beliefs. But the things that she's saying, I have a lot of belief in. Mm-hmm. And so I will talk about this and beat a dead horse with this. We must be able to talk about topics that have layers, that have the two things can be true at the same time while feeling like they're opposing thoughts. So let's solve the world's problems.
Well, and I do like how she started this. Like, listen, these are things that me and my husband do and rules that we have in our marriage. But if it doesn't work for you, great. This is just what works for us. And I think it's important talking about that because we've been on this platform before and we've had people reach out and our opinions have unintentionally, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, criticized people. And that was never our intention. Our intention.
That's about them though.
It is, but it's just important.
I mean,
to say,
Maria, a good friend of ours, Maria, was just talking about it recently. She's like, I love your podcast. I don't agree with everything, but I love it.
Yeah. And beautiful. That's the whole point is for you to think about it on your own terms and in your own relationship. If people agreed
with all this shit, it'd be terrible freaking podcast in the first place. You're boring.
I agree. So the first topic she brings up is the man has the final say.
Well, there was even a preemptive. She
what?
Before she even went to step 1.
My husband leads, I follow, and our marriage has never been stronger. Rule 1, he has the final say. not because I'm weak, but because I trust his judgment. One leader means no chaos.
Right off the bat, my husband leads, I follow.
Yes.
She's going to go further on, and she's obviously a leader in this situation. We've talked about this.
Yeah. And I think that in our own relationship, I think that it's very similar to that. You do lead and I follow because I do trust your opinion, and you do a lot of the research where I don't have the patience to do the research. So I'm like, okay, this is great. And I think prime example of today, like when I get impatient or when I'm like, no, I want things done this way, that's when we start colliding, right? And then we start getting into this chaos of like our relationship. And I don't think it's always about you leading, because I think there's many times I take the lead in our relationship. It is something where I do trust that, like, even currently where I'm impatient and I know what I want and I know what it looks like and you don't. This has been like an ongoing thing in our relationship and in our marriage where I get impatient. I know exactly what's going on. And if I just wait and like let it play out, it comes to an even better place.
Yeah. And then let's put it this way. This is not a dictatorship. This is not a benevolent dictatorship, meaning like, oh, I'm doing the good for my wife who is my submissive, right? That's not the case.
No.
Like I've always said, 50.1, 49.9. Right? And here's my stress test. Would I want this in the marriages of my 3 girls? And I would. I would love to have men.
Yeah.
Assuming they're all straight. But if they're in heterosexual relationships, men who are men, but who respect their wives, who value their opinion, who co-create, co-collaborate, and take into account the shared vision and direction of the family. Not one person saying, this is the direction we're going. But you're one of the strongest, stubbornest women I know. And you still want me to be the king and you be the queen.
Yeah, because I don't want to hold it all. You know what I mean? And I feel like when I have that, like, that final say or the decision making and it's all on me, like, I'm sometimes like, I don't want to do that. I just want to live and be present with the kids and with you and in the relationship. Like, sometimes I don't want to make those decisions. I mean, I think a lot of women feel that, like, even decision fatigue on what the fuck is for dinner. You know what I mean? And it's such a common thing, but it's like, sometimes I don't know. You fucking tell me, because I'm done talking about it.
One of the things I noticed in business recently, where I've been around some new people, is a lot of these rooms are leaderless. Very few people are willing to take a stand.
Yeah.
I think this could be an episode in itself,
I do
just
too.
in leadership in a relationship. But it continues on to the kids as well. Right? And I am fully aware that how I rise and fall, this family rises and falls. While it's kind of like being an entrepreneur in business, while there's really, 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 really hard days, I wouldn't want it any other way. And I chose this, right? Like, I have to remind myself that all the time with these difficult decisions in business. Like, I want to be the boss. I want to take the shot. I want to be up at the bottom of the ninth. Like, that's how it is in a marriage.
Yeah.
Like, man up, and not in a toxic way. Lead and love your family. Be the one that is there to protect them.
Yeah. And I know we're going to get into this subject more because it's probably another point. But with all of that being said, you know, the times I've been most successful in my business is when I've had you as like this guide, right? This like, hey, what if it looks like this? Or what if we try this? Or why don't you not worry about that and focus more on this? Then I'm like, okay, it gives me clarity. And it's like you're my coach, like truly in a marriage, like you're like my coach, and especially with business. And I think most people are lacking that in a relationship. And when that we work at our best, and it's not taking away from, like, I know so many women that are like powerhouses and they have successful businesses and things like that, me being one of them, but not without some leadership and influence from my man, right? And like, for me, that's a really important aspect that I want my husband.
There's the difference of being a support system for your wife and being emasculated, which we've talked about a ton. You got to lead. in a way of that.
And it's more of an empowering instead of a controlling.
100%. And it comes back to this. Hardest person to lead is yourself.
Yeah.
That's the game. All right, let's go to the next one.
Rule 2, I don't have to work. If I want to quit everything tomorrow, he would support me. What I choose to do is my freedom, not my burden.
I love that.
So you've changed on this. So why don't you repeat it?
I love this one because I have really, really evolved on this. When we first met and we started dating, I was like a rock star in real estate. I was already making, I think I made more than you when we first met. And I was killing it. And I was grinding and hustling and doing my thing.
Not a gold digger. She married me for my looks and my sexual prowess.
Yes, exactly. But I was making great money and I was a successful businesswoman.
Yep.
And that was a really big part of my identity for a long time. And it, even with having our first daughter and then our second daughter, there was always this part of me that could not let go of working because I was providing, I was contributing. I was like, nope, I'm a woman, I'm strong, I'm independent, I can take care of myself, that kind of thing. Even though we've always shared finances, we've always done that, but I still had to feel like I wanted to contribute. And I think probably fairly recently, I have been like, you know what? Like, if I want to work, great. If I don't want to work and I want to be at the barn for 4 hours a day, I want to have that freedom to do that. And it took me a long time. Like for me, that was a lot of personal growth to be able to rely on you and to trust that you can provide for this family without me working. And so I've come a long way, and I love having the opportunity to, and the support from you to be like, you want to work? Great. I will support you. Let's see what that looks like. But if you don't, I got you. And I think that most women, I would say most women would love that. Yeah, even if they want to work and they want to provide.
There's a little bit deeper layers that too. You know, you didn't want to ever be in a position, and I understand this is one of the things about the trad wife thing. Like, you know, one of the problems before feminism is women were trapped.
Yeah.
Right? They could not get out. There was no money. There were a lot of rules, like where they were almost enslaved.
Yeah. And God forbid they try to leave a relationship. Like good fucking luck.
Or domestic violence. Like there's a lot of situations. Yeah. On the other end, like it's just choice. Like it should be celebrated if you want to just make your main vocation parenting, being a wife,
caregiving. Yeah.
And it's not just that, because we've talked about this before, but the unsung heroes are, especially men of the past, is there was this strong woman with ideas and helping build a business that never got credit for anything. Mm-hmm. Right. And that it plays an integral role as well. So it's just, if we're measuring just by bank account and who the check's name is under, then we got a problem.
Right.
Because one person's going to feel like they're contributing. Exactly. Yeah. And that is a byproduct of our society.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think for you, it was freedom, security, didn't want to feel trapped, a lot of those things. But when I look back, when we created Urban Nest, you weren't working. Mm-hmm. And even though I was out there fighting the fight, like I mention this all the time, we had that list of things that everything on the list felt impossible. Mm-hmm. So new, so big, so hard. And you were like so integral of like knocking out that list. Mm-hmm. So if we didn't stop, and this is good for us to remember, if we didn't stop everything and both put all of our energy into making this a success, then everything that came afterwards wouldn't have happened, right? Because that led to that success, me doing the leadership and getting known and building that up. It complemented the luxury team we were doing so beautifully.
And I think one of the most important things, I mean, we built a multi-million-dollar company that was number one in the state, right? And one of the things I feel I look back on and I'm like, you know what? That meant so much because I believe that I was an integral part of building that business.
It was the Three Musketeers. It was the three of us.
It was you, me, and your dad.
Yep.
And the thing I think we did right was that I always knew like you and your dad were front facing and you guys were like the faces of Urban Nest. And I could be okay with that because I was still contributing on other things. But on the same token, you always included me.
Always.
And if it was a company run thing where my husband built this beautiful brand and had this super successful business and I was just the wife staying at home, I would have felt insignificant. That would have really hurt my ego. And I probably would have went in a completely different direction, would have been like, you know what, I'll show you. I'll build my own thing. But because it was a team effort, I was able to be a part of it. And I think that there's a lot of relationships out there where, you know, these men build these beautiful, successful businesses and they don't give their wives credit necessarily as being a part of that.
You know, it's funny. I didn't even realize how much I did it. I would write personal notes to everybody, congratulating them and whatnot. And even though I was one writing it, I would put from love, Dave, and Angie.
Yeah.
Every single time, every single Christmas party, holiday party, we brought you up. You were part of it. Like, I don't think I missed one opportunity to give you your due.
Yeah.
I'm glad you acknowledged that.
I do. And you know, it's funny because I just saw this post, which I've been meaning to pull up for you because for some reason it triggered me. And it's a Serhant post, right? So Ryan Serhant has this company, Serhant.
Yeah, and his wife's a realtor now. Yeah.
Just got into the business. But the way that they announced her triggered the shit out of me.
Really? I saw
was
that
like,
post.
wait a minute. Now she's just a realtor at Serhant? No, she is fucking Serhant. She is your other half. Like, what are you talking about? She's not just a fucking realtor. That comes, and I mean, obviously that's a trigger for me, right? Because I'm like, what do you mean? She's your wife. Like, don't you guys own this thing together? Like, what is the deal?
It's funny, that post saddened me. You want to know why?
It saddened me too.
A different way.
Why?
Because when I watched the show, I felt like she was like resisting against being completely consumed by that lifestyle. And I'm like, now she's a realtor and now they're toast. Now their whole life's going to be transactional. The meaning, she was in my brain like the one that was holding the line with that Greek values and all of those things and like balancing him beautifully. And now I'm like, whoop, it's on the other side now. It was like,
maybe they should come on to our show and we could have a conversation about it.
Yeah, I like Ryan Serhant
I
a
do
lot.
too. And even his wife, like they're super approachable.
Yep.
They're great people. But
and I think he does things the right way, but I look at it and I'm like, you have such an abundant life.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? You don't need all this extra shit. And you're like, what are you chasing? That's all right. Different story. I digress.
Yeah.
Third point. All right. So we're real quick with the kids.
Yeah.
Ella loves the idea of being a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, yeah. She's like, I want 10 kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lola's like, yeah, go fuck that.
But here's the thing. They're both
right. Yeah.
And if you had a prenup, this doesn't work. Like,
you're right.
Because then it's like,
then I do feel trapped. Then I'm like, really? Now I'm going to stay home. I get no nest egg for myself. If God forbid we don't work out, what the fuck am I going to do?
You're banging other girls, the whole nine. I'm screwed. This is why I thought the topic was good. Keep going.
It is.
Rule 3, I protect the home. Cooking, cleaning, nurturing, creating peace. That is my power. A man cannot fight battles outside if his home feels like a battlefield itself.
Ooh. Protecting the home.
Protecting the home. The woman protects her home. The home base. I'm working on this.
I think you do, though.
I think I do too. I mean, if you really, especially with the kids, if you look at their needs being met, I meet those needs.
100%. You're the dentist, you're the doctor, you're the checkups, you're the point of contact. You are the stability, to the point where sometimes I hate that I'm not, because my dad was that for me. Mm-hmm. And I know I can't do it all. And I try to do it. I do the PT. I do, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, that's you.
And I think we made kind of an agreement when we first had kids. Not that you didn't want, we both wanted kids. We both wanted
I never wanted to
kids.
be the dad that didn't do the diapers.
Right. And that's where I think we found the balance, right? Like, even now, like, I can wake up and be like, we're going on a girls trip or do something and I can rely on you without having a nanny or without having somebody else step in, right? Even when they were babies, I could do that.
Yeah.
Even though Ella ate dog puke one
That was
day
not my fault.
Okay. But I protect the home, right? Or I at least, Even traveling, right? Like I make travel plans. I make sure like the family unit is working, like, and planning nights out or doing things like that. Like I take on that responsibility, but I do think we made it a very clear, we had a very clear conversation when we first had kids. Like I wanted that role. And that's one of my favorite roles, is to be their mom and to be like, I meet.
Yeah, but you didn't want to cook or clean, which I had no problem with, which we talked about. I
Exactly.
said, but then I said, well, if you're not going to do it, we got to find people. And then I was like, you have to manage them properly. You got to be the house manager.
Yeah, which I am still learning.
And we almost hired someone to be the house manager. And I'm so glad we didn't go down that road.
Me too.
Because, I mean, you could do nannies and they work. And, a lot of the ways around it is to say, well, they do everything but the things that we want to do.
I struggled when we did have a nanny, because we had a nanny often.
Not to the point where I think our kids ever reached for the nanny over us.
They really didn't. No, not at all.
And some people that's cool with. I think that is part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think that will come back to bite you in the ass a little bit, but it really does come down to what your goals are, right? And if it's really difficult to have this conversation, because it's like you can have the live and let live, and I don't want to judge. And where we get into trouble is right now, because I could think of someone all of a sudden that if they listen to this, they'd be like mad at us and they're our friend because they don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't even thinking about it when we had this conversation, when we started having this conversation. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to say something that's going to completely, you're like, what, you don't agree with the way I live? No, I don't. But that doesn't mean you don't have the right to live it that way.
Right.
And it would never work for me.
For you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to a point, I do think it hurts the structure of the family, and there's some unintended consequence. But that's just my belief.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to agree.
Right.
Maybe that's the way to go about it.
100%. And there's a lot. I know, we know so many people where their lifestyle doesn't work for us, but our lifestyle wouldn't work for them.
I know,
like,
but
that's
when
okay.
we give our opinions, we are there.
Yeah, we're putting ourselves on the chopping block.
It's a judgment.
For sure.
It's a judgment. Like, no. And I think the only thing that we could actually say along the lines of is this is stuff we'd say directly to their face. Yeah. Everyone talks shit between each other's back about it anyway. But listen, women are the protector of the home. Now, we've talked about this as well. I have a desire to cook. I'm more organizational than you. The uncleanliness triggers me more than you.
I'm not uncleanly. I'm messy. That makes me sound like a dirty
You're not
person.
dirty. You're just
messy.
very.
Yeah.
I'm more OCD.
Yeah.
Fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next one.
Rule 4, no opposite sex best friends, no secret DMs, no just friends with somebody who would date you if they had the chance. Loyalty is black and white.
Totally no friends of opposite sex. Yeah, it's a situation.
We have friends of the opposite sex, but we are friends with them together, and it's normally another couple, right? Like I consider the husbands of my friends, but I would never be hanging out with these people by myself. I would never be like texting or DMs or any of that. I think there is a very clear loyalty and line that you do not want to cross in a marriage.
I think you and we haven't even been tested. And I wouldn't even say I've been in bad scenarios, but with a lot of female realtors,
mm-hmm.
I've become like some of them to like their coach and even like life coach or even dating coach, like be worth it. I've never put myself in a bad situation. And I think women are very intimidated by you anyhow. So it's not like, and I'm a happy man and I never.
That's actually a good point. Because you do go to lunch with people like women of the opposite sex. You have meetings with them, things like
women
that.
Of the opposite sex?
People of the opposite
women of the opposite sex?
You go with women.
All right.
But
keep that in.
If there was a question, like if I questioned it and I made a line in the sand,
I would end it in 3 seconds.
Yeah. And I think that's what's
I'd lose
important.
the agent. I don't care.
Right.
There's been agents that have been interested in coming to the company that did great production that I was like, no, not happening. There's no doubt. There's no money that's getting in the way of our relationship. Plus, I am very vocal. There's no doubt of how I feel about you. Everyone knows that I love my wife.
I feel like your integrity is like your number one. So
number one?
If I didn't think that though, I might feel differently.
It's also been the other side. You've had single real estate clients too,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
There's had to be trust. And that easily could have gotten us into a situation. Remember, we've had a friend
I've known people. Yeah.
We're like, the guy did what? And I'm like, what kind of, a guy isn't going to do something like expose himself or hit on you or try to kiss you unless you're giving him some kind of indication. I don't care.
Yeah.
What, right? And so you're either inviting it in or you're not.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
Rule 5. He pays the bills, I multiply the value. He provides financially, I turn what he provides into meals, memories, and a home worth living in.
Listen, you've been a tremendous contributor, and everything we've done together. So any checks that have come in your name, I feel like they're mine. And it's like, not mine in the sense of like your money's my money, but like I've helped close those deals. I'm behind the scenes, right? Same thing with Urban Nest, same thing with That Luxury, same thing. Even the building, that was my baby. But there's no way a massive decision like that I was going to be able to make without the support of you. I mean, it almost broke me as it is. And you were my rock. I don't feel like they're my wins and not yours. And I don't feel like my checks are coming in and you're multiplying the value. But it is actually a nice way of looking at it, because for a long time, the Urban Nest money was like, it'll pay for our entire life. And the At Luxury money was investments, stocking money away, and like big masterminds and like the big stuff.
Yeah. This one is just not black and white at all for us, because we are true partners, business partners on everything too, right? So not only are we partners, but we are like...
Shouldn't every relationship be business partners? Regardless if they're in business or not? All the decisions they make, what job they're going to take, that's a family decision, right? Like,
but there's the dynamics of marriages are so much different than ours in a lot of ways. Like if you have somebody that's going to a job and they're like literally bringing in the paycheck like that, we just don't even know what that's like. That's never been us.
Well, we're going to find out, because I believe like you're going to service the luxury market. But it's not going to be like conquer the world, I need every client luxury market. It's going to be this, who I've worked with in the past, who aligns with me. It's a very like, what happens, not like this P&L game of like, every year I got this much marketing and this much growth. And it's not that, right? And so because of that, I believe you're going to be spending a lot more time working this new thing with me. That I may be the front man that you put out on the stage or you do the one-on-one coaching, but you're in the entire thing. Like you're the Wozniak in a lot of these things with the capability of being the jobs if you just so choose. And some of these things are going to be expressed in a non-financial way.
Because the way I'm looking at it is I'm going to be facilitating a lot of the work that is done within these experiences, right? And so like a lot of the horse work, the breath work, like those types of things.
The ranch work,
yes,
the retreat, the architecture of the whole game, foundationally. This is like when you're looking at a business, like compliance and accounting and HR are not things that drive sales, but without them, you don't have a business.
Right. But I mean, from this specific soundbite, right? We don't live that tradition. That's not very traditional, right? Like we're both providing financially.
But this is why I want to challenge the whole thing.
No, I agree.
Right.
That's the whole point. But I'm just saying, like on this one, we're not fully traditional.
Rule 6, no clubbing or bar scenes without each other. Single life behavior does not belong in a committed marriage.
I love this. No clubbing or bar scene.
Without the other person.
Show me a relationship where one of the people in the relationship are spending time at a bar playing video poker before they go home.
Yeah.
If they're by themselves or with single friends, that is a recipe for disaster.
1000% agree. And I would say in our relationship, the only time we're doing it is on occasions, right? Like you got a football draft and you guys are going to the strip club afterwards. I got a girls trip and we're going to dance at the club. Like those are like one-offs, but we're also with married men and married women.
And we talked about this before.
Yes.
Yeah. But this, as simple as this one is,
I agree.
It is a tremendous red flag in relationships.
If you were going to play video poker every night, we wouldn't be married.
I agree.
No doubt. I'd be like, that is absolutely not going to work.
It would be a symptom of a bigger issue, whether it was a money issue, whether it was an alignment issue, whether it was a marriage issue. Like if you're trying to stay away from your home with your wife and your kids, then there's a problem.
Totally.
I'm not saying like there's not times like, shit, I just need to talk to a buddy. But even then, you should be able to talk to your wife. But still.
Yeah, but there's so many other things you can do than to go into environments where it's just not a healthy environment. Golfing is fine. Like, my horseback ride, like there's so many other things, pickleball, tennis, you name it. There's so many other things you could do than to be going into environments where this stuff is just like waiting for you.
I don't feel comfortable. I mean, I was at this event for 24 hours and I was in the mood for a good meal and I was in Scottsdale and they were like, go to this place called Uchi. It's right down the street. It's like 600 feet. I was like, I'll get a table by myself. It'd be nice. No, it was packed. So I sit at the bar. And no sooner did I sit at the bar, 2 women my age sit next to me on different sides, alone. And I felt this like they were like trying to get my attention to talk. I'm not saying they were hitting on me, but I was like, I couldn't even almost have a conversation. You know what I mean?
And you should still be able to. I mean, as long as you don't feel tempted. But at the same time, I think we were talking most of your dinner.
That's one of the reasons why I called you. Because like I could be sitting there looking at my phone. I talked a little bit to her because the 2 guys next to them, 2 young kids, were talking to her. She was ordering vegan stuff at a sushi spot. And she was nice. And the one on my left, she was uncertain. But I didn't want to give out, the
wrong signals.
Why even put yourself in the position?
Exactly.
Rule 7, no thirst traps online. If you ever see a risque photo of me, it's because my husband posted it himself and I reshared it. I'm not advertising for other men's attention.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have this problem. I barely could take a selfie.
What's crazy is you easily could be that woman.
I mean, listen, we did my sexy pics, right? Or I did my sexy pics for you. And there is a point where I'm going to have enough confidence to post, not like where you can see anything, but just to like give that, because for me, that is like a growth thing. It's like, ooh, I got to like be really comfortable. It's a vulnerability thing, right? And it has nothing to do with like a thirst trap. It's literally as like a self-confidence thing. And obviously I would get your approval. Like I would, not your approval, but yes, your approval.
Yeah.
And I would say, hey, like, I'm going to post this, like, this is 40, right? And like have my picture and be like, this is me. And I think that there's a way to do that. Like the woman that did my pictures, she posts these beautiful boudoir pictures of herself a lot, and that's her business. That's like what she is projecting, like women to be confident and be like powerful in their own bodies. And I think that there's beauty in that. It's not like, hey, come get me or DM me.
It's not even about come get me, DM me. You can tell when you're looking on social media if a woman has a big following because she's a realtor or because she's a hot realtor showing off her body.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like it's kind of like porn when they were trying to debate it in the Supreme Court. It's like, how could you tell what's porn? They were like, you know it when you see it. You know when a woman is leading with her looks, sexuality, or when she's leading with the thing that she wants to lead with. And so with you, even when you did all the real estate, it was something that was just a matter of a fact, because Yvonne's attractive too. Like you guys could easily come out, and I'm sure come off as like just this beautiful group. But that's never the point center.
No.
It's like a ancillary benefit. And I'm sure there's plenty of scumbags that are just watching the videos to see pretty girls. But no one would ever say that that's how you're trying to. And there's a lot of that nowadays. Just use your looks to do the whole thing.
Use your looks to get ahead.
Yeah, not happening.
Agreed.
Rule 8. He protects me physically. I protect him emotionally. That's the masculine and feminine dynamic working in sync.
You do not protect me physically.
I don't have to.
That's true.
And let me ask you a question. Regardless of back pain or this pain or that pain, I will say this to the ends of the earth. I could be on my last breath. At any given moment, I am psycho enough
Yeah, to kill
to
somebody
have
with your bare
one
hands.
fight
Yeah.
in me to do what I need and what needs to be done. I have zero doubt
Yes.
because I will fight to the death.
And I'm confident in that. He'd break his
I will
back for
put
me.
my hands around someone's throat
Yeah.
in 3 seconds to protect the people I love.
No doubt. Do I protect you emotionally?
Yes and no.
Explain.
For a long time, my ability to deal with a very complex mind,
Okay, that's a good way to put it.
I don't know if anyone can handle that.
I have grown leaps and bounds.
I agree. The way you do protect me emotionally is by being my muse, my sounding board, my support. Like that is 1000% you being there. Like there is no way I would have been able to do what I've done as a creator, an entrepreneur, and all these things without having you. I tell everyone the single greatest accelerator in my life was not my father. Yes, he played that role, but he held me back in some ways to protect me. It was you.
Mm-hmm.
Once I knew I had you in my corner and I had you to fight for and to protect and grow, and the kids, game over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a level of support emotionally that can't even be described.
Yeah.
You like that answer?
I do like that answer actually a lot.
Oh, you like me again.
I do. It only took us however many 40 minutes into a podcast.
Rule 9, divorce is never an option. We fix it, we fight for it, we don't quit when things get hard.
I believe that we take that word very seriously.
I agree. I think we have, in our relationship, used it once.
Yeah.
And it was a very, very big turning point in our relationship and our marriage.
And it was preempted by me, but it exposed you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because your reaction to something needed to come out as well.
That was probably the worst, that for sure was the worst argument or situation that we had in our relationship. But what came from that, like we would have never, I don't think we would be where we are today without that.
So for those of, I ruined a trip in Thailand, and it may not sound like a big deal. And for some of my friends, they kind of gave me I had a massive anxiety attack in Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
Like needed to, like culture shock, the bugs biting me. Like it just was
like panic attack. Like
horrible.
full on
Like I was ready
attack. Yeah.
like to lose my shit. Got to Singapore, got a little bit better. And you were like, Phuket. And like, I ruined your life. You were a wreck. And you were like, I don't know if I could do this. And I was in such a fragile state just from being in another country in the East Asia, and that I was like, please don't leave me. And then quickly I was like, whoa, wait a minute. People have adverse reactions to travel all the time. Are you kidding me? And then I went the other way. Then fucking leave me, right? And then we started really like I almost got defensive. Like, what do you mean you can't support me? Mm-hmm. And then we really got to the bottom of it and we put in the work. But I think the thing to talk about deeper is, do you think it's because we both come from divorced families that
we take it more seriously?
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I think divorce is always hard. I think sometimes it's necessary, right? Like, I can't see your parents being together. Like, that would have been an absolute disaster.
I understand, but the fact, like,
that
I know how hard your parents' divorce was on you.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I don't remember my parents being together because I was so young, I know how much it defined so much of my life, especially having divorced parents during a time where most people didn't have them, and having zero understanding of how normal in my brain life was.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I think there's very few relationships that have been this, ideal in a dream type of marriage, right? Like their parents were married forever and it's all happy and everything's great. Like there's issues in every freaking family and every situation. I don't care if they've been married or divorced or whatnot. And I think that we do take it seriously, yes, because of the divorce, but I think we also take it seriously because I am not willing to cross a threshold with you or cross that line unless I am 100% sure, because what I don't want, and even when times when I'm like, I am so angry at you, or like, I'm like thinking about running away, because obviously those times just come up just in human nature.
That's life.
But like for me to pull that card, I better be really fucking sure, because I don't want to break a line of trust that we have with each other where we can't go back. And you're like, ooh, like we're very careful on not saying things that
can't walk back.
That we can't walk back. And I think that
it's just another form of respect.
Yeah.
I won't call her out, but I've seen firsthand someone weaponize, or I'll just divorce you. Mm-hmm. It's triggering to even hear. And I know in relationships that people use that. Well, and like that's a weaponization of something that once you go down, and that's not even
that's the perfect word. It's a weaponization. It's like it's using that word or that even the conversation about it as a weapon, I think is just
I think we'd have the same reaction to each other with that word. It's like, okay. Mm-hmm. Like,
and that's the thing, is because we've never used it as a weapon. Like if we did, we would know the other person is very serious, and I don't think we could walk it back.
I think it'd be less difficult to walk that back than to have sex with another human being and the non-negotiables, but it would be a very significant thing in the relationship. It would be something very sacred broken.
Exactly.
Rule 10, sex is never a bargaining chip. It is not a weapon. It is a part of intimacy that keeps the bond alive.
All right, so this one's about sex not used as a weapon.
Yeah.
So you've never used it as a weapon. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know if you withheld. If I look back in our relationship and the times where I'm like, hey, baby, let's do it tonight. And I think most guys do it this way. Or, you'll flirt a little bit. Guys are always going to say, let's do it. Women are always going to be like, yes or no, right? Like this is like that red light, green light you talk about. And the times where I'm like super confident and I'm like, I have to make very careful here. Not that no means yes, but I have to put more energy and effort and set the mood rather than just be like, hey, open up, my robe type thing. Like, let's go. More times where I've taken the initiative and been more assertive, there have been great outcomes for all parties. Yeah. And if I would have done that more rather than just trying to get approval beforehand, and I think I know that's something like you want to take away, men. Like, I'm not saying no means yes, but if you put more energy and effort and foreplay and the making out and the things you need to do, and stop being a little bit of a baby about it. I was going to say pussy, but I'm not going to say it. I know I've been, right? Yeah. I've been.
Yeah. So sex is so interesting. And we need probably a topic on this by itself, because for me, my initial answer is always no. Like, because I'm in my head. I'm in my roles. I'm doing my thing. I'm sleeping. I'm masking. I'm doing all my shit, right? And so it's always like a no until it's a yes. It's always a no until it's a yes. But the thing with this specific topic is like, there are times where even if it's a yes and you can tell I'm not feeling it, that's when, okay, let's table this. Let's do this tomorrow or figure this another time, because you can tell if my body's reacting to you or not.
Of course, so simple.
And there's no hiding it. Like there is no.
And in all fairness, I have a very good conversion rate, so I'm totally happy with this.
You do, and yes, we do have great outcomes, but that's, I think, it's not a weapon, but it is something where it is important to use it as a form of intimacy. And if you're not connecting, like there's some times where I'm like, wait a minute, what? We just fought about this, or you're going through this, or I'm going through that. Like this is not a good time to do this. You know what I mean?
Because maybe it's the best time to do it then.
Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not.
So here's the counter to this. Mm-hmm. Very rare women are more initiators than men. They're out there, right? Yeah. And I think there's a whole reason for that in itself. Yep. Right? Maybe there's a validation thing, with a highly sexual, whatever. I know that women don't realize how much, I want to say power, but how much of the man that you really want to have will be unlocked by initiating once in a while. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe that women should be the initiators, because then that takes away the dynamic of the whole who leads. Because if you're going to be the
courting who,
you're going to be the leader, well, initiate sex.
Yeah,
but there's nothing. I'm telling you, There's no man in this world, even homosexual, that doesn't like a surprise blowjob or like, I just got out of bed, I just got out of the shower and you're being initiated. That is, from the beginning of time, the best thing you could do for a man. And I don't feel like women really understand how much power is in that and what they can have. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Yes.
Because you could weaponize it in a way of just not initiating.
And I think it goes back to your whole thing that you've been talking about, the topic of performance and pressure and presence. Because if a woman is doing it for performance, I feel like that is not necessarily the case. That's not like you're not going to get the outcomes you want of your man, like providing and doing all the things. But if it's out of presence and it's like the intimacy aspect is there, I feel like you're going to have great outcomes no matter what.
Plus, it's a lot easier to initiate when you're on vacation or you're not having all the pressure of the things. I can't take credit for that. I mean, that was Garrett, but I've been having that transactional versus transformational, that being conversation. But you're right. But even if it is performative, you're still going to have a good outcome.
Yes. Agreed.
But it's going to be 10 times better.
And like you said, like a man that pouts about it, because a lot of men, I think, do that.
It's the worst.
That's the biggest turnoff.
All right, so let's wrap this up. So back to the original This Trad Wife game, right? Mm-hmm. So let's break it down. Women embrace and promote traditional gender roles, often romanticizing. So embracing and promoting traditional roles, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of great things. Mm-hmm. And one of the unintended consequences of feminism was not that women should have every right a man should have. It just was, it put this onus and pressure on both people having to produce, making more money, and not spending more time with your kids. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that's a woman's role, but it broke down some nuclear family things. Yeah. And so that's an unintended consequence. But at the same time, it was ridiculous the way it was.
Yep.
Husband the primary provider. Now, here's the other thing. Most men, this is across the board, like to be the provider. You take that away from them, they start questioning what's the whole point? Mm-hmm. And so now if you have a woman providing for such thing, masculine roles and feminine roles, there's no room for anyone else. And I think that's where like the right wing has like, I think they have the right intention, but it's coming off really wrong sometimes, right? Yeah. Like, cause you could over index this really far. And then the left, same thing. It's like, well, we also, if we, of both. There's an issue, we have a population issue. Mm-hmm. If we don't procreate, we got problems. Mm-hmm. And so I could understand the whole point of the game. And it's like, again, with every frigging issue in this world today.
Yeah. There's not a one size fits all.
It's not even that. Let's integrate the whole game. Mm-hmm. Let's look at it this like there are multiple different options on the shelf.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like that.
What works for you in your relationship? So
we have a very traditional marriage
in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, yes. But there are a lot of ways that we don't.
I think the number one takeaway I would say, not to you because I'm biased, but I would just respect you with it, but to all three of my girls. Mm-hmm. This whole way of being a traditional wife is totally fine as long as one requirement is met. And it simply is that you chose it.
Yeah. I love that.